Dave Nykl, I have first saw on, or David Nykl. I'm going to have to ask him about that if he minds if I shorten his name. I first saw on Stargate Atlantis. He played, I didn't even know he was Canadian originally, so when I just walked up to him now and he went, hey, yeah, it's pronounced nickel. Can I buy a vowel, please? That's my joke. Oh, well. Well, now I've upstaged him. I might as well bring him out. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to David Nykl. I make no such promises.
I don't either. Well,
So can I call you Dave?
Dave is fine.
Dave is fine. You're not going to attack me. I was just on with Robert Maillet, so
Dave is
I'm
fine, Andy.
Andy. Okay, I'll call you David. Or you could call me Pig Monkey.
I'll call you Andrew. I just met you.
Okay.
Hi, folks. How are you?
Hello.
Wow, we've got.
How the Haligonian are you? I was working on the plane on that one.
I came out and there were already people lined up to talk to you. So rather than go into funny banter, we'll just go to the people who want to chat.
No funny banter? No time for funny banter?
No time for funny banter. That will be time in between for funny banter.
Okay. We'll be funny at the designated time.
Yes.
Not
before.
Before that.
Take your time. Okay, I just want to begin and say that Zelenka is one of my favorite characters in any show that I've seen because he's just kick-ass.
He's only in one show, though.
Yeah. So I want
Well, thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah. So I want to begin and in the Stargate Atlantis episode, Tabula Rasa, where everybody loses their memory, Zelenka's reaction is way different than everybody else's, and I have my theory on what happened, but I want to hear your
Oh
input
boy, you
on
guys
it.
get right into it right away. There's
You
no
don't- you-
warm up.
No, I told you this was
There's
it.
no
This
hi,
is-
how are
no
you?
banter.
This is one of my favorite shows.
Tabula rasa. What is that? What? I kid. It's been 10 years. So I mean, we
Can you remind us as to
No,
the
it's-
episode?
I do remember it.
It's where everybody loses their memory.
That's why I can't remember
Can you
it.
remind us as to the episode?
It's in season 4, episode 6, I do believe.
Yes. And your question was, what do I remember from it?
Well, no, like I
We've
have my
established
own
that.
theory about why Zelenka acted like he did, but I'm just wondering if you ever thought about it or if it was purely director.
He behaved the way he did because it was written on the page, and the actor was paid to say those words.
Okay.
No, I hate to shatter illusions that quickly. Theories as to why Zelenka. Well, I think it's the first episode where he really sort of stood up for himself with a hatchet or a stick or
Metal
something.
pipe.
A metal pipe. See, you even know what I had in my hand 10 years ago than I
I
did.
watched it a couple weeks ago.
Oh,
so.
did you? See, you have me at a disadvantage. Actually, I have watched Atlantis. I watched an episode of it a few months ago, and I was impressed at how good a show it is. Well, this is a pretty good show. I should watch this show sometime.
I know that guy.
It's funny. You know, I'll answer your question indirectly, and then I'll try to answer it directly. Indirectly, the thing is that we produce these shows, and you guys consume it. For us, especially when it's 10 years ago, it's a blur. It's a blur. Individual episodes, and it breaks down into scenes, you know, and those scenes are filmed out of sequence, and they're often also interspersed with other shows. We would film an episode in 8 days, seven days plus a day or two for pickups and second unit. And in those 7 days, 16-page days, 8-page days, 16-hour days, it was a whirlwind. I mean, it was you literally hit the ground running. So I go back to these episodes and I watch them, and I remember those. I remember the specific days that we shot these things, and I go, "Wow, that's what it looks like. That's what it turned out, right? It's the mirror thing. You see what it looks like." And so now when I'm caught answering questions about what it looks like, it's something I literally saw once, tabula rasa, and I watched it in my trailer when they produce it. They give us a copy, and I saw it, and I thought, "Oh, that's how it came together." But in my mind, it's the production of it that sort of sits there. So that's the indirect answer. The direct answer as to why Zelenka behave that way, let's go with, I think it was any AU episodes when there's an alternate universe, even though that wasn't really AU, was it? It was kind of alternate behavior, AB. Let's call that. It's a great opportunity for you to sort of break out of the character and do something a little different. Because Zelenka was always the second guy, the second fiddle, the McKay sparrer. So it was nice to sort of be able to hold your own.
Okay.
Does that work as an answer?
That works. I was just wondering if you had any input, so. Okay, thank
So
you.
what's your theory?
My theory is Zelenka is the only character that we really saw who grew up in a communist country, so.
Oh. You didn't think about that, did you?
But what does that got to do with him having a metal stick? Yeah.
You know how to fight back the man. I think
Yeah.
that's,
But that really wasn't a programming. That really wasn't what happened during communism. Sort of. It was more sort of a grin and bear it sort of thing. But I like your
That's a
theory.
good point. If anybody wishes to ask a question, just go up there. Otherwise, I'm going to talk with Dave here. And
Please ask a question.
Don't. Oh well, look now what you've done. You've ruined it. Okay.
There we go. No,
No, thank you. What's your question?
well, I'll start off. I'll sort of add a, yeah, Stargate Atlantis is one of my favorite shows. The one thing I found remarkable about it, that at that point, when you really only had, say, Babylon 5 and the Star Treks to compare those things to, in the first and SG-1, those shows tended to take a season or two to get their feet and before everybody was kind of settled in. I found Atlantis, the cast and the characters were there from the very beginning, and it was a very solidified show, and that impressed me from day one from that. So it is one of, and Zelenka was, well, just the Zelenka McKay dynamic was just brilliant.
I appreciate that. I haven't heard that point of view before. I think we had the benefit of having an 8-year roll-in with SG-1.
Yeah, but it's even with the start, because Deep Space Nine had just 5 years of Next Generation before it came on, but even Deep Space Nine took 2 years before it really hit its groove. And Voyager the same way. They had, a decade of lead-in or more, and they still took a couple of seasons before they hit their stride. Mm-hmm. But I'd say Atlantis, they hit the ground running and never stopped.
Yeah, it's an interesting chemistry that happens because you have to get the right characters together from a writer's point of view. Then you have to get the right actors to sort of work those characters, and then you have to have a good relationship between the writers and the actors and the characters. And it's a strange mix because not all shows have the benefit of coming together that way. Some casts, we got along really well. We had a lot of fun doing it, and Dave and I, for example, we really enjoyed working together. I loved working with him, and that kind of banter relationship was something that the writers picked up on early, like in season 1 and 2. They sort of dwindled a bit towards 3 and 4, and then picked up a bit in season 5, specifically McKay Zelenka. They sort of tried pairing me off with Joe and Tori and doing things like that. But the interaction of the characters that work, I mean, if I was a writer on a show, if I was a showrunner on a show, I would watch out for what the fans are saying and what is working and what looks to be working, and give them that. And give them that, because that's there's a reason.
That's how you make a good show.
Yeah, it definitely is the way you make a good show, and it's kind of like bands that don't want to play their hits. It's that's what people want to see. That's what people have, and to sort of go, well, I'm not going to do that because I want to I want to
Little
try something new.
Smashing Pumpkins reference there.
Well, no, it's. I mean, there's both sides of it. I mean, I understand the artistic side of wanting to try new stuff, but we're dealing with TV, and we're dealing with sci-fi, which has the quality of I want to come home after working out all day, turn on something, and watch a good story. You know, it's the difference between reality TV and you know, reflecting on what life is versus we're creating this make-believe world. Of course, we don't fly around in spaceships and we don't have lightsabers. And that was another show, but whatever.
What?
You know. Oh no, I got Andrew mad at me now.
Ruined
Yeah.
a good chunk of my life there.
Oh, no. On the subject of, as you say, that the cast got along well together, I've been to a few other cons and some panels with some of the other actors, and I've heard the stories of what Joe Flanagan and Jason Momoa have done to torture David on the set. Were you either a participant or a victim or maybe a bystander?
The ubiquitous prank question, yes, pranks and what we were doing. Yeah, Momoa was a piece of work. He would, whenever the camera came around on you, you do a scene with him, you'd come around on you, he'd kick at your knees, throw fruit at you, hold his nose.
Just try to get you to break character.
Oh yeah. That kind of stuff happened all the time. So we would be fooling around a lot. It was part of the fun of it. I mean, it got to the point where, you know, the clap would go and we were still bantering back.
Still.
I did takes where I forgot to do my accent.
Did you find it hard to get into the accent? Like, was it something that you were concentrating on while you were in character, or when you became Zelenka spoke? And
That's a very good observation. No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I grew up in a Czech household, so I speak the language fluently. So the Middle Eastern, the Eastern European accent comes absolutely naturally. It's around me everywhere I go. So no, it didn't take that much concentration, Andrew. It was more of a sort of a approach to the character as a whole, and I end up getting a lot of characters that have accents, Russian and Dutch and stuff like that. So it just becomes a part of the whole character work. If you get just tripped up on individual words or just on the accent, then it's going to be too much in your head.
Hal-Con!